Are you scared?
Hello? What's your favorite scary movie?
Scary movie. That's my favorite scary movie. I like a good movie that makes me laugh and gets me scared. Scary movie doesn't really do that, but it is a pretty decent movie. Why am I even talking about scary movie? We'll get there eventually one day. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final episode of Season 1 of Flickbook Horror, the podcast for the non-average horror movie viewer, or as we like to call them, newbies, because, you know, those newbies out there are always like, what movie is good to start to get in the horror genre? Well, maybe it's this one that we're talking about today. Maybe it's one of those kind of movies, because, ladies and gentlemen, we are finishing our Season 1 with Scooby-Doo, the first live-action version of Scooby-Fucking-Doo. Yes, I know all the kids out there are like, I love Scooby-Doo, and so do I. So do I. But, of course, if you guys don't know, in the final episode of first season, my name is Tommy James, a.k.a. Mr. Oh So Smooth, a.k.a. the Smooth Effect himself. And normally I would tell you I got my tag team partner here, but he's not here today because, guys, I don't know if you know this. Well, you do, because we mentioned it. Mista Malaves is going to be getting married this weekend coming up. He's going to be getting married. He is busy right now, okay? I got a hurricane that's going to hit me. He's going to be getting married. So things are going to be insane. So we have to make sure we finish Season 1 before the wedding, and then we take wedding break, and then we come back strong for Season 2. But I am not alone. I went back into the archives, all the way back into the archives, and I brought in someone that they love themselves some horror movies. We call them the Horror Gru, if we could, and that's why he gets to start with Scooby-Doo. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. A-Town Ryan.
Yes. Hello, everyone. And everything he just said is a complete and utter lie. All right. If you don't know about me, guys, I am Alex A-Town Ryan, and one of my top monikers about me is that I don't like horror movies. Not that I'm scared of them, is that certain things I just don't want to take into my soul, my spirit. But Scooby-Doo does not fit that criteria one bit, all right? Not one shred of horror, things to mess with your head. Maybe the little things when they pop on their skin make me itch a little.
Sure.
When they're in the sunlight. That's as close as it gets. So thank you for bringing me to the safest horror film that you could have picked.
Yes.
Is this horror? Yes, this is horror, right?
Technically, we have to consider it kid horror.
Kid horror, yeah.
Kid horror. Because Scooby-Doo was technically considered a supernatural kind of like a cartoon, and this is definitely like, yes, this is a child's movie, but for us, we still enjoy it.
With a lot of adult humor.
There's a lot of adult humor that kids will not catch on to, and they did a very good job with it, and how they like make it like where the adults go, aha, and then they do this, and you go, aw. Like, I know what you did there, but I appreciate what you're trying to get there. Yeah, this movie we're considering, that's why we're going to keep it for the last episode of Season 1, because it's kid horror. You know, there is a possibility little children could be maybe a little scared at some moments, maybe a little scared. As adults, we were definitely not scared. We were just on the ride having a good time.
It was, 2002, 2003?
2002 is when it came out.
2002, so I was about, 15 years old. Mm-hmm. I remember, laughed. Oh, and this is a very dated film.
Yes.
Oh, this movie is so a product of its time and its environment.
Yes.
So much. You knew when you saw Sugar Ray.
Yes. La, 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 la.
And then Shaggy, literally, the actual Shaggy scene. I was like, what? No, this is a very dated film.
Yes, it is. So we'll start right off the bat. We'll get into our first reactions, first impressions of this movie. Now, let's start, because me and Mr. A-Town, we've obviously seen this movie. Probably I went to the theater to go see this movie when it came out. Did you see it?
I did not. I saw it on a plane.
Saw it on a plane? Okay.
Saw it on a plane.
That's fine, too. So here's how we'll start. Your first reaction when the movie came out, like, what was the first thing that came to your mind when you saw the trailer?
Yeah.
You know, you saw the pictures, and what did the first thing you thought?
Appreciation of the casting. Oh my, like, they all looked like they came right out of the cartoon. And I give them that right off bat. There was not one where I was like, they could have picked someone better. Everyone fit their role. Mind you, all of these actors were pretty much at the top at this point.
Yeah.
Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar, Linda Cardellini, Matthew Lillard. Everyone here was, at their time, especially young teen, young adult, these were like the A-listers that they got for this. I was like, yeah, and it looked good. It looked okay, what I would imagine. Again, my first Scooby-Doo was a pup named Scooby-Doo. Even before the OGs, a pup named Scooby-Doo, I loved that show. So watching, then I remember seeing, there is one where they're actually older, not knowing that was the original, but seeing, and I was like, okay, it looks legit. Actually seeing the movie, also my reaction, seeing the movie, I was like, it happened. That was a thing.
Yeah.
Especially that was a thing. That's all I could say. Like, it was nothing amazing, like mind blowing, but it was literally, if I was gonna watch a cartoon, the same way I watched the older versions of the cartoons, like, okay, that was okay.
Yeah.
I was never blown away by it, like, oh my God, it's so amazing. I give it that they were faithful to the source material.
Sure.
If that's where, if I'm saying it, like the characters were pretty much, they were very self-aware of themselves as well. Very self-aware of the references, the jokes made, the weed humor.
Yes.
Past the Dutchie with the smoking van and they just toasting.
And yeah, they were just toasting.
Eggplant with chocolate sauce.
Chocolate on a chocolate burger. with hot sauce.
But it was very faithful to like their characters. I can't say, that's not how it was. No, I can see that easy as an episode. So yeah, I liked it.
1000%. Now, how did you feel when I told you this is the movie we were doing?
I laughed.
Yeah.
I was like, of course. Because I was like, does it? And then I thought, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I thought it was your fuck you movie, but it wasn't. This is just one you guys picked.
Yeah, nope, this was picked. This was literally picked because I remember we were going to just the story time. We were originally going to do the Ghost of Mars with Ice Cube and Jason Statham because he punches Shock, so we were going to get him in there. Yeah. And then I realized, I'm like, no, you know what? That's not the way this show goes and not the way second rounds works. If we're going to finish a season, let's go stupid.
Yeah.
You know, so we got to go Scooby-Doo. So maybe for season 2, we'll finish with the second version of Scooby-Doo, the second movie, Monsters Unleashed.
Monsters Unleashed, yeah.
Which, we'll talk about that eventually one day. But yeah, I remember going to the theater to see this movie. Because I guess it was just, I always liked Scooby-Doo when I grew up. So now that I got a live action movie, and again, I agree with you. I thought the cast was, they did it right. They went, this is the way we're going to go. These guys were already hot at that moment. You know, Freddie Prinze Jr. was She's All That and fucking I Know What You Did Last Summer with Sarah Michelle Gellar, who was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You know,
this movie got them together, right?
Ooh.
Or were they dating before? Right before?
No, I think they were dating before.
Okay.
I think they were dating before, but they're still together.
They're still together.
They're
to
still
this day.
together.
23 years.
Yeah, they're together for a really long time. Linda Cardellini, she's great. She pops up in a bunch of freaking movies left and right.
Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah, Freaks and Geeks.
ER for a long time.
Yeah,
she's had a career.
And she okay, the one, and we
she's
spoke
in Marvel
about this.
too.
Who is she? Oh yeah, she
Hawkeye's
is.
wife.
Yeah, she's Hawkeye's wife. That's correct. Yes. And I remember when we were just talking about this before we went on air, that only out of the 4, only 2 are truly acting.
Yes.
Only 2 of them. Because the other ones are just technically playing themselves, which is, because Freddie Prinze Jr. is not exactly playing Fred. Fred never came up as like this cocky, jock dweeb in like the shows and whatnot.
Yeah.
So when in the beginning he has that hair the way it is, that was Fred's hair. Yeah. And then he goes immediately just Freddie Prinze Jr.
Back to his old self.
They're like, Freddie Prinze Jr., blonde hair, and he's immediately like the cockiest little thing in the world. And it works because I feel that that's how Freddie Prinze Jr. probably was.
At that time, yes.
Yeah, in a sense.
On all the teen magazines, like when they saw the scene where he's signing the teen beat. Like, yes, that's him. That's what he was doing.
That was Freddie Prinze Jr.
Walking through the airport, getting mobbed by a young girl.
Yeah, I really believe that was going down. Sarah Michelle Gellar was Sarah Michelle Gellar. She didn't change too much, really. Nope. She kicked some ass, which she normally does as Buffy. And I guess she could be the damsel in distress in some, like I Know What You Did Last Summer. She was kind of like a ditz and whatnot. But I didn't get true acting from her. They weren't like, find your role. And she was like, I'm just going to be myself. Perfect. Great job.
She was like a hot blonde redhead.
Yeah, a hot redhead. And which is fine. That's what Daphne kind of was though. She wasn't really the most smartest one of them all, but I like how they kind of give her a turn. They try to make her, it's not just she's good looking and she gets caught and she's stupid. Like, no, she can do some stuff.
Yeah.
Which I like. But of course, the shining star,
the jewel.
The jewel, the gem of this film, besides Scooby, is Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard. Oh my, to this day, first of all, his voice is top notch.
On point.
On point. It sounded like Shaggy.
Mm-hmm.
It's exact. I don't know what method he did. I don't know if he spoke to one of the original voice actors, because that guy's still alive. I think that most of them are still alive.
Well, Casey Kasem, I believe, is dead.
Oh, Casey. Okay, so
because Casey Kasem was the original voice of Shaggy.
At that time, though, Casey Kasem was still alive. So
at that time, yeah,
he had to, because the inflection, the voice, but to have the look, the tall. He's like 6'3", the tall lankiness of Shaggy, and the stonerish mannerisms of Shaggy. It's crazy how he brought that character to life. That to this day. Yes, Scream he's known for, but I knew him for this because I didn't really watch Scream when it came out until later. So this was my introduction to Matthew Lillard. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, he was in Scream as well. So, and there's a whole generation that, I think he said it because I saw an interview with him. He's like, yeah, I'm known for Shaggy above all.
Yeah.
This is his role.
And well-deserved, too, because even like when he first appears in the movie, when they're in the barrel, and he's just like, Scooby-Doo, you got to stop shaking. Well, I'm not shaking. And he goes, oh, yeah, that's me. And then when he pops up, and he just looks at him, he goes, Scooby-Doo, what are you doing? And Scooby's trying to tell him that the ghost is behind him. Yeah, I love the way, and that's like, you mentioned how like that voice cracks when he does it. And he's like, oh, there's a ghost right behind me, isn't there? And you're like, oh, he nailed it. Yeah. Like that moment, you were like, he's going to rock this movie. Yes. Him and a green screen, a tennis ball, were freaking great in this movie. Because you feel like, that's the thing. And I've seen some of the the scenes, behind the scenes with it. Yeah. And he's talking to a tennis ball and talking to somebody dressed like in the fucking green outfit. Yeah. That's acting. He was talking to nobody. And you really believe that there was this freaking Scooby-Doo was standing right there. It just went, and their friendship that they have, because that's very important. They're supposed to be very close.
That's his best bud. That is the bond they had.
Yeah.
And because like we know, by the time this movie came out, Scooby-Doo was around for at least 30 years at this point. Mm-hmm. So there wasn't a lot they had to explain. That's what I liked about this movie. Yeah. They didn't have to do origin story. They went right into their world. Yep. They didn't waste any time of when we first even to the point like later on when they do a flashback, it's not an origin. No, they were already doing their thing.
Because she mentioned the mysteries. Oh, we've been doing mysteries, and then Scrappy shows up, that little bastard.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's what I like. So like they didn't treat the audience like dumb. They're like, you know these characters. Yep. You've lived with these characters for years. Yep. You're watching this movie because you know who each of them are, and what I like as I'm saying it. The first scene, that first sequence, was them right in the middle of another episode, basically.
Yeah, catching a ghost.
Yep.
And it's like, and I like too in that one, in the beginning too, each of the characters get their separate glimpse. Like, like it starts with the ghost coming in. Oh, there's Daphne. And then all of a sudden you hear Velma coming in, and it goes right over to her. She's calling out Fred, right over to him. Like, it's like, here's your characters.
Yes.
You know them. This is what they look like in this movie. Oh, cool. Yeah, he looks good. Oh, she looks great. And then you go and you just ride the roller coaster.
And we're at the end of an episode because you see Pamela Anderson come out of nowhere.
That was the best. Pamela
It's almost
Anderson.
like I wanted to see that episode. What led to Pam Anderson being involved? And old man Smith. Like, they don't explain nothing. It's like, no, you're coming toward the end. You know how these usually play out. Use your own imagination to figure out how this all came together.
Put your own episode together with Old Man Smithers. And Old Man Smithers again. Yeah, he's always showing up in these damn freaking these episodes, dressing up as ghosts and stuff. And then the way they're able to, I did find it a little strange that when they quit, like it was kind of forced in a sense. Like they needed to separate them to get where we're going, but they just kind of all were like, fuck it, I quit. And you're just like,
there was no build up to that. Like, even because they solved the mystery like they always do. But all of a sudden, these pent up feelings just came out. No, I'm going to quit. Like, what?
Yeah, exactly. Even Shaggy was like, wait, what? Why are we quitting?
And Shaggy left them there he took the vantage over.
He did, because they all had their own cars.
He there, right?
They all had their own cars.
Oh, they all okay.
Because you see when it pans out, you have a purple car over here, there's a red car, and then there's like a black car, and you see them all three go to their own separate cars. So they didn't even come together. So
so it may have been slowly.
There was something going on prior to that.
Yeah.
So I guess, but we don't know that backstory because we didn't watch the episode, so we don't know the backstory to that to realize why they quit. So
figure it out.
Figure it out on your own, because it doesn't matter. We're eventually getting to pasta dolce on the left side.
Give me the ring. And again, you see the smoke coming out the van, and all the adults, the kids are like, "What are they doing?" And the adults like,
I know what he's doing in there.
And then they go in there. It's like, nope. It's a hot plate.
Yep, they're making food. Oh, okay. I'm okay with that too. They do love to eat.
But look at the type of food and what would cause someone to want to eat that type of food.
And you see Matthew Lillard's face when he does it too. A burger. He squeezes it like it. He just nailed it in every aspect of a character. When you want to talk about somebody and be like, who can play a role to the point where it's just perfect? Matthew Lillard as Shaggy. That was too perfect.
Indistinguishable.
Yeah, I loved it. Now, let's get into the setting of this movie. So, the setting takes place on Spooky Island. Spooky Island, which is a theme park that Rowan Atkinson actually owns.
Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean, yeah, he showed up. And it was funny because we were watching it, and Christian goes, he sounds familiar. So, I'm trying to think in my head. I'm like, well, he's Mr. Bean.
But where would Christian know him from?
Zazu.
Yes.
I was like, he's Zazu from The Lion King. Not the fucking live action one. The cartoon. And he goes,
never the live.
Oh, and I was like, just in case you don't know who Zazu is, he's the bird. He was the bird. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's another famous role of his. Plus, he was in Rat Race.
I give him points for actually recognizing that, because I never did.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah, that's a good air for him.
That was that was like one day, I think, scrolling and reading and being like, Rowan Atkinson, wait a minute. And you're like, oh shit, he was the bird. Wait, no, he wasn't. He was he was. Wow.
In our defense, though, like, knowing as Mr. Bean never talked.
No, Mr. Bean's not supposed to talk.
So we wouldn't know unless, again, it make a connection of, okay, Mr. Bean never had, Rowan Atkinson, any of his speaking roles, we were never really privy to.
Yeah, no.
So so Christian would hear him for the first time, and having Lion King so close together at his age, that's easy.
It's like, that sounds very familiar. And then he was in Rat Race too,
win
the race.
Win the
Going to win the race. And he was always really funny. Like, even Mr. Bean just not even speaking. It's hilarious. I mean, it's very
physical humor.
Yes, and it works. That's his thing. So in this movie, he's wacky. But he's weird wacky because it's Scooby-Doo. Yeah. So what did you think of like the setting itself, the whole Spooky Island? Would you want to go to Spooky?
Well, hell no. First of all, hell no. Second of all, when I say how this movie is a product of its time, it's supposed to be like MTV Spring Break.
Yes, that's exactly what it's
basically
like.
What it's supposed to be. That they went to, like back in the day, MTV Spring Break used to be big and used to see all these different like getaways or like Cancun or this is supposed to be Hawaii-ish, near Hawaii.
Something like that.
Like off of Hawaii. So right off the bat, I was like, okay, it's MTV Spring Break. You see the DJ and everyone's playing around. Sugar Ray is there again.
Sugar Ray.
I don't know how, knowing what we know later, I don't know how the hell they were able to convince Sugar Ray to come. Because it took a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money for a very small clip and then them trying to kill people.
There's a lot of moving parts for this resort to go to, for Spooky Island to go down. Even having the big Hollywood sign that says Spooky Island.
Yeah.
There's a lot of logistics to go, but they got them on there.
They did.
They got them on there. But I knew this was going to be a departure from the regular mystery type of thing. Like you knew, okay, this is not going to be like an episode.
Fine.
Well, no, I won't say that because I know. Well, no, this is before they did those animated movies. like when they used to do like with the witch when they did
yeah, I think this came first.
So
and then
so
they
I
started
think
to
this
separate
may
them.
have influenced those as well, because then
Yeah.
that's what they started doing with that. But this was the first time they actually took them from that formula of being in the town thing. No, this was you could tell this is going to be different, a product of its time, so to speak.
Yeah, and I actually kind of like it. I like the fact that they take it away from the show, where they're like, no, remember, this is a movie. This is the first movie, so let's put them somewhere else. Let's throw them in, and you can't even say like out of their element, because they're completely in their element.
Yes.
But like, I love the spring break aspect of it, where, and it makes sense as time goes on why they're in that kind of a setting, which is fucking hilarious that they pushed the bar. They just pushed it with that sense, with the yo, it's okay, dog. Like when they're talking, you're like,
oh my god,
what the fuck? Like I was like,
when Fred was doing, I know he was quote, he was supposed to be like, what up, dog? Last night we took the ill L, and the ill is I was like, oh, I forgot this era. It brought me back to high school.
Yeah.
Remember that? Remember? So bad.
Yo, dog. And then he's like, what's up, dog? And
then
dog.
And Shaggy.
Yeah. Keeping it real.
Oh, my God. I was like, it was cringe. It was a lot of cringe. I will give it.
And what they're doing in the long run is making fun of the world at that point.
Yeah.
Like, people talking that way. I mean, even when they watch the training video, which is hilarious, fucking training video, where it's just like they run into each other and oh, hey, sorry, man. And he's just like, I will crush your soul.
It's like,
what? And then it's just like, no problem, dog. And then he starts saying with the heezy and the jeezy, and like, what the fuck is going on?
They basically, knowing what we know, they must have just watched music videos.
Yeah.
And MTV. And use that as a way to set the setting. That's why I was like, it's kind of genius in a way, because they're taking something stupid, but this was all over TV at the time, to try to put on the falseness or the look of, and people ate it up. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is normal to us, while everyone else was like, this isn't normal.
Yeah, it's like, no, this isn't how things work. and I do think it's just that making fun of MTV. The cast itself is an MTV kind of cast. You know, they were on TRL showing up, being like, hey, we're here. We're going to be in this movie. I was in that movie. They were guaranteed showed up at MTV Spring Breaks.
Of course.
You know, all of them showed up, you know, dressed as the characters, like bathing suits, the color of their character. They were easily doing shit like that because they fit. That's the other thing, like we mentioned, like the casting was really done well because they fit what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Like this is going to be some 90s, early 2000 crazy bullshit of making fun of MTV. All four of them are perfect for this movie.
Perfect for the role.
And you're just like, yep, they're all perfect in that role.
Yes.
And I really did enjoy like the whole theme park aspect, which they don't really touch on. It's a theme park. The only real touch on is the house, the castle.
Yeah.
Which I actually think that's a pretty good scene, like how everything's going on. And I wonder how they all knew to go to that castle though.
They've done this for years. They know they know the plot of their lives. They're like, all right, if something's gonna go down, it's usually probably the big spooky castle where we have to go there. They were trying to further the plot quicker.
That's one thing I did notice, that they were trying to move it a little fast, where they were like, we can't just keep it set. We can't follow everyone's story.
Yeah.
They're just gonna end up together. We'll stick. We'll go with Daphne.
But no, I meant in terms of the characters themselves. Though. Like even like Velma, like they all knew, because they've done this so many times,
where to go.
They knew where to go. It's like, we don't have to go through all of this. Like the characters, they're like when Velma gets not Velma, Daphne gets Shaggy and Scoob. Like, come on, let's just. That was her saying, I know that, because remember she was trying to prove herself. Like, I'm not an idiot. I know. So she's like, I know where to go.
Right.
The castle. Come with me, guys. And then they had to do the same. Scoob, what'd you do for a Scooby snack? And he's like, Rrr.
Oh, I love that scene when he's explaining to her. Like he's like, what was it? He's telling her like, you don't go into spooky castles because there's the painting with the eyes that find. Scooby's like doing it in the background, and he goes, and they come and they chop on you, and then she's like, Scooby, and he goes, oh, you hurt your paw. Yeah, I'll do it for a Scooby, and he's like, Rrr, and he gets all pumped up and he kicks him in the face.
It's like, the fact it's so meta that they know the routine they have to go through.
Mhm.
We didn't even. Oh no, we didn't even. You know who that girl is though? Scooby's girl.
Shaggy's girl.
Yeah, Shaggy's girl.
Yeah, that's what's Elijah Fisher.
Isla Fisher.
Isla
I
Fisher,
didn't see it. I'm looking. I'm like,
I'll find you.
why does she look familiar? Oh, it's Isla Fisher, just blonde.
Yeah, Jen actually said it while we were watching. She
Yeah.
goes, "Is that?" And I knew immediately, and I went, "Yes." Wedding Crashers. Yes, that's her. Yeah, I didn't know that the first time I've seen the movie. I didn't realize, and then I think it was later on, obviously, when I'm like, "Wait a minute, that is her," and she's funny in it too.
Yes,
Like with with the sneezing, and he goes, "Yeah, my allergies when they're on the plane." And Scooby's dressed like grandma.
This is a grown woman.
Hilarious. And no one even says a freaking thing. You just simply flick it on the nose. Flicks him, decks him in the face. And it's sad because, listen, we're grown-ass men. We watch this movie. And there are moments that we actually laugh because it is funny.
Yes.
You know, it works for the time. Like you mentioned it.
Yeah.
It works for the time.
Definitely.
It fits. So even, does it hold up today? The setting and everything? No.
No.
But the characters? Sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it fits. Scooby's fine the way he is too. I like the way they did him.
Like I'm not even joking. Matthew Lillard they could each come back because none of them really aged that badly.
No,
maybe Freddie a little.
Yeah,
bit.
because Fred's got that beard going.
But they could easily all come back where it's like their kids or something, and they're the older versions, and put them in a new type of, and it would work.
Yeah,
because you get the absurdity of it all.
And you can understand that actually Daphne and Fred got married, which in real life they are married.
Yeah, exactly.
And they should do that. They should, because I know they have been hinting that they want to do another Scooby-Doo.
They had canceled the third one. I know they were going to do it, but I forgot why they canceled it. Exactly.
They canceled the third one. Now there's talks that they're going to do another one, but it's going to be an adult version of Scooby-Doo, which I'm going to say right now, I don't want that.
No.
Why would you do that? Why would you think that we need a Scooby-Doo with people actually getting killed and stuff and blood and gore? No, nobody wants that.
But Scooby still Scooby?
Like, that's not Scooby-Doo.
Scooby won't. It'll just be a regular dog.
Yeah, it would have to be.
God,
it would have to be. No, I don't want that. Like that's horrible if you think to really go that route. Keep us
in the absurdity that is this film.
It's a stupid world. Keep the stupid world. Like, let's have it's supposed to be fun. Now keep in mind, this movie's story was written by James Gunn.
It makes sense.
It makes perfect sense.
It makes all this, like, the way, again, like when she's talking to the guy and they do the flashback of, back in the day, it was Fred, Daphne, me, Scooby, and then Scrappy comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? That was so random. And you know what's funny? Okay, growing up, I didn't realize Scrappy was hated.
Yes.
I didn't know. I was like, oh, I'm young. I'm like, oh, cool. They got a little one. It's Scrappy-Doo, popping your power. It wasn't until I was old, like, till this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked, people hated Scrappy.
Uh-huh.
It's almost like Jason Todd hated.
Yes, thank you. Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to I'm putting Scrappy-Doo on the same level as Jason Todd's Robin.
Yes.
Where they actually, because so with the Jason Todd story, obviously they had it at the end of the comic is voting. Does he live or does he die? And everybody's like, no, he's dead. Yeah. They had complaints that people were calling Cartoon Network and Hanna-Barbera saying eliminate him because they started to lose views because of him.
Yeah.
So for him being in this movie, there's a reason why.
I looked it up because I was like, then I knew, but then I was like, I rewatched it. I was like, oh yeah, I always wanted to look it up. It was a division in the studio, dude, about this character.
Wow.
It to this as of up to like 2020, there was legit issues with Scrappy-Doo. Because so half of them didn't want him.
Yeah.
Half of them was like, I don't see the problem. Even to this day, they still talk. They bring him up. They're like, one guy was like, I didn't really hate him, but you know what they said in the studio? It was a mantra to hate him. It was a monster but it was really a thing with Scrappy-Doo.
That's crazy.
So when this movie did it at the time, it was a shock to me. And when the direction they made, I was like, really? At the time, I was like, well, that's stupid and random. But then I look back, I was like,
get it.
You get it.
You understand.
He was pissing on Daphne.
Yeah, he was pissing on you're marking your territory. What do you want? and technically, so Scrappy is Scooby's nephew.
Yes.
And I remember.
You don't feel that here.
No, because he didn't give two shits. Like when they kicked him to the road, he was just like, "Man, peace, like goodbye."
Yeah.
So but funny enough though, as a kid, I guess, or we were teenagers though, watching this movie when it first came out, I thought it was stupid. Like I would sit there, I'm like, I thought it was really stupid that Scrappy was in this movie. Yeah. Like I thought that was really, really, really stupid. But then as time went on and we begin to learn the backstories of shit, you go, oh, that makes perfect sense. Like, yes, that he should be the villain. Yeah. He should be that's a perfect villain. Yeah. Like he's getting them back for you tried to cancel me in the long run. You tried to eliminate me. Well, guess who's the bad guy now? And you're like, yeah, no. And he almost cursed. And he curses at the end. Yeah. They slam the door on him, but he curses. And the puppy power, like
all of it. It was I didn't see what the problem was, but watching the reaction of him, I was like, oh, he was annoying. Yeah, but we're kids, so we're annoying. So we didn't see the difference. No, because as adults, we're like, oh no, he was annoying. Yeah, he was annoying, and took away from Scooby. Yes, and at this point in the movie, it was random why he was put in there. Yeah, like, I thought it was a quick cameo dig.
No, there were a lot of hints. I don't know if you caught it. There was one part, because as we find out later, that he's controlling Rowan Atkinson as a robot. Yeah. Yeah. But there's one point when Fred's talking about monsters and he's like, there's no such thing as monsters. I don't know if you caught it. Yeah. But as he's talking, they switch to Rowan Atkinson really quick, and he's going like this. Like he's scratching the back of his neck. They were hinting at it. That they were like, wow, why would a human, and he's doing it like a dog would do it. Yeah. So you're like, oh, yeah, yes, okay. And yeah, why would you have a random cameo of Scrappy?
Of Scrappy-Doo. I thought it was just a quick dig, and they were going to keep going on with the movie.
Which technically they do. Yeah. And then at the end, it's just, puppy power. And you're like, that motherfucker. He's back. Get him. And then when he turns into that huge monster. Yeah. I like that. That's actually one of my favorite lines of the movie. When he's turning, he gets all like that energy stuff and he starts getting big and like Brock Lesnar status, and he stops and he goes, Scooby-Doo. Ooh. I love the line. And it makes me laugh till this day. Don't you mean Melvin do? I love that. I love it. And because he's like the fucking monster. So he's just kind of in like that trance. And it's just, don't you mean Melvin do?
And they pan to just another one. It's just looking like, I was like, what? He looks like a Melvin do.
Love it. I love that fucking line. It always makes me laugh. Even when he makes the phone call, when they do the phone call and he's like, I got a phone call for a Mr. Do. Melvin do? Nah, Scooby. Oh, okay. I got some hamburgers for you, and come in the dark forest where nobody can see you. Bro, okay.
Oh, all right.
And Jen looks at me and she goes, that's how they would capture me. And I'm like, yeah, probably. Just be like, got some hamburgers for you. Okay. I'll see you later. And he just goes and doop, 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 which is great because they know to not go and do that. You know, don't go into the... I mean, Shaggy makes the whole joke. We don't go anywhere with spooky... What was it? It was spooky, scary, or quadrilogic. Or quadrilogic. Thanks, Scoob. Yeah. And then I love that other part. And again, it's that their bond, their friendship that they have. Yeah. When he's mentioning something and he's like explaining, like, it's... the Sunday... Fred, you're the banana, the bubblegum, and then he's explaining it, and Scoob goes, that does sound pretty good, doesn't it, Scoob? Because it looks like he's actually having a conversation with someone.
Even the little fight when he's trying to tell Shaggy, yo, she's one of her.
Oh, that's great.
He's like, you want to, what he said, your mom eats cat
poop. No, Scooby-Doo, your mother eats cat poop. It's hilarious. I love that. Mary Jane is a man in a mask. Because she gets hit in the face and you see the fucking mask.
That's the other thing, though. Her name. Come on, son.
Mary Jane, yeah.
Come on.
Yep. Yeah, their interaction together of Shaggy and Scooby really makes this movie.
It sold it. It held up a lot.
It really makes this movie like so worth to see and to just enjoy a fucking CGI dog talking to Matthew Lillard, and the bromance that they have, the ending, like when he's like, I'm a sacrifice, and it's just like a sacrifice.
Not good.
No, that's not good, Scoop. And then he gets like that emotional thing where he's just like, you know, who's my best buddy? Ruby Roo. Who's your best buddy? Raggy. And he gets like all of like the eyes start tearing, and Jen cries, of course, at that part. Yeah. But you feel it, like it feels real. Because
we've earned, like, as the audience, we know the friendship.
Right.
They don't need to, again, or we know it. We there. So it comes off so natural. Well, also they pull it up that we sell it. We sell everything they've been through up until this movie started. Mm-hmm. And we get why this is all earned and why they don't need to prove anything to us.
Yeah, we've been there. And same thing, and I will mention this, same thing in the Flintstones movie.
Yeah.
They didn't do an origin for, well, they did rock the Viva Rock Vegas. We don't talk about that one. But the one with John Goodman, it was like, no, you know the fucking characters. Yes. Like, this is just another story.
Yes, this is This is legends in our world. So why the hell would we dumb you down, waste your time?
Right. We don't need that. Just go to Cartoon Network. You can watch the reruns if you want, or Boomerang. Now it's Boomerang, so you can go watch it on Boomerang. And that's the perfect way they did Scooby-Doo. I really think they did it the right way. They didn't need the origin. We got an origin in Scoob.
Yes.
In the Scoob movie, that was fine too. I actually had fun with that movie. I
never actually watched that.
Scoob. It's not bad. Like it's.
I remember you telling me about it.
It's Zac Efron plays Fred as the voice of Fred. It kind of works. Like you're sitting there like this is not bad. Oh, I think it's who the fuck plays Scooby? Not Scooby. I'm sorry, Shaggy. I think it was Will Friedle. No, not Will Friedle. That's not Will Friedle. That's fucking. No, that's it's Will. What's his name? Forte. Will Forte.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he's not bad. I'd put him. He could be a top 5.
Yeah,
you know, maybe like number 3 or 4, because you know you got to put obviously Lillard. Yeah, he's got to go number 1 because he nailed Casey Keenum. That's a football player. Casey Kasem. He nailed it so well, and he was our first live action Shaggy. So I put him 1 and put Casey Kasem 2 because that's the original.
And we got to give it up for Hot Velma. With this started the Hot Velma trend.
What you gets the fucking when you see some boob action,
and they keep going and they keep making it more V-neck.
Focus there.
You know, they cut a scene. Did you ever saw the deleted scene where she like they should spend more time with her possessed and her against Daphne?
I think a while ago I remember watching it.
Apparently they cut it because she was looking hotter than Daphne. And she was actually outshining her Sarah Michelle Gellar.
She is hot. Sarah Michelle Gellar, though.
So they had to tone it down. Like, it's too much. We're giving too much hotness. But just Linda Cardinale as Daphne. She nailed it. You felt bad for her because she was like, I do all the work. Yeah. And Fred takes all the credit.
She does. Fred takes all the credit. That's why at the end when he's like, you know what? We're going to let Velms do that. But I do like the part when she's explaining to him, like, you know, it's always about Daphne and this. And he goes, hey, dorky chicks like you get me going too. Dorky chicks like you turn me on as well. And you're just like, wow, zing. Freddie Prinze Jr. probably did them both. If not, if he wasn't already with Sarah Michelle, he probably did them both.
Yes,
because I would believe that Freddie Prinze was getting a lot back then.
Oh yes,
he was tapping. He was going around giving high fives. But no, what would you say is one of your favorite scenes in this movie?
The body switch.
When all 4 of them are standing there and they keep switching?
Just switching bodies and they're all trying to play off each other. They were like, we're going to give you a scene where you just try to just
act like each other,
and it works.
It works.
Ooh, I could see myself naked.
Yeah.
I'm like,
hey,
what?
I can see myself naked. And then I love when Shaggy, oh, Daphne, what did you eat? And then the way it switches, like it's just, I love that with the switch. And then when Velma goes into Fred and it's just like, she's trying to talk, and then Shaggy's like, everybody stay calm, and it's actually Fred talking. Yeah. Now, my thing is, why is the voice their voice, though?
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing that threw me off.
That's not how that works.
No, your voice box doesn't change because you switch plasma souls. whatever they wanted to call it. Those were souls. That's what it was.
Ectoplasmic.
They had some weird
beings.
name for it.
Yeah, she had a name for it. It was like, ectoplasmic being or something.
That's what she's explaining to Shaggy when he's holding her, and he's just like, he's just like, oh, okay, bonk.
And Daphne's like, put me back. I'll find my way. So like, what?
I'll find my way. I'll use my tongue to lick up and get there. And you're like, whoa. Boink. And then what was it when he picks up Fred and he's licking it? He's just like, he's like, Fred, you're an ectoplasmic head. And he's like, I know, but I'm the best looking one.
I'm the best looking one here, right?
Like, yes, Freddie Prinze Jr. Yes, we know, you cocky bastard. Yeah, I do like the body switching scene. I think it's hilarious of how, 1 second it's Fred as Velma, then it's Shaggy talking, still immediate because they switch and she's still finishing her sentence while going into the next body. But I also will appreciate they didn't push it too far because they could have kept going for a minute if they wanted to. Just 3 switches, 2 of them different, 1 they finally go back to each other.
Yeah. Why do those creature designs look familiar to me? I swore I've seen them in something before.
The monsters?
Yeah, the monsters.
Okay.
Maybe it was just that this one, it was, it was probably just done so well here that I felt like I've seen it in other places before. But I will give it, those monster designs were pretty good.
They look pretty damn good for 2002.
Yeah.
I mean, we watch it now. It's like, and you're like, no, it fits.
They seem like they come right out of a cartoon.
That's the point, right? It's supposed to look like that. And a lot of people, like we've mentioned, hate for this movie. A lot of it is on the CGI. And you sit there and you go, first off, 1, it's 2002, shut the fuck up. And 2, this is a cartoon.
Yes.
People forget this is a cartoon.
It's supposed to be a live action cartoon.
Yeah.
All the absurdity, all the craziness. And they didn't even go too far, like where they showed whistles or the no, they did when he was trying to run from the oil and he tried to do they did the chase, right?
That chase? Yeah, that's when the ghost chased him when he gets on the skateboard, and then he goes when he does the freaking like the high 10 or whatever they call it, and he's just like and it's just like this is it's a cartoon. It's a cartoon movie, and it's a fun time.
Yes.
It's a good time to have. And of course, the ending, as we mentioned, it turns out it's Scrappy-Doo. And they just have to pull the little thing out of him. Whatever the fucking...
Sarah Michelle Gellar gets her...
She gets her little moment.
Matrix. Again, the time period, everything was copying the Matrix.
Hit it. Yeah, hit the joke. That's fine. Yeah, hit the button for it. Just like, we're going to copy the Matrix.
Yep.
We're going to get Sugar Ray in there, which, by the way, they're monsters too. I love that though when like his eyes go green and then he looks at the guitar guy and the guitarist pulls his glasses down like, oh yeah, I know that person's not actually a monster. What?
How the hell they got the cops too? They're like when she called the cops, he's like,
oh, the Coast Guard,
kidnapped. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, I never understood that either. The Coast Guard.
What?
Like, was the Coast Guard's? He must have gotten them first. I'm assuming.
I would assume so, but that's not the only person I would get the whatever. There's records. You know what? Why am I'm trying to put logic.
Like they got to go home eventually, right? They don't just live there because this has been going on. At least we have to. This has been going on for a while. This was all planned.
Yes.
Based on Rowan Atkinson when he comes out of that little hatch. I mean, he's been gone for a month.
Yes.
So this has been going on for a while.
Which that also doesn't make sense. Why would you copy a person that existed? Or why wouldn't you just, you know what? Let me stop. I'm trying to.
Now you put
why don't
logic.
you just possess? I know you could have just possessed the real.
Yeah. He could have did that. He could have possessed him and then just have one of those fucking. But he wanted the power, though.
Yeah, he wanted to be.
So
in it,
he's like, I want to be the one that takes Scooby-Doo. Like he was like, I'm gonna kill Scooby-Doo, and that's what's crazy. Again, we bring it back to the whole Scrappy-Doo situation, but he was an asshole. They kicked him out, and his mindset was like, I'm going to kill them. I'm going to absorb their energy and take over the world. Like, wow, Scrappy, that's fucked up.
They were right.
Yeah. There
was a reason why.
Yeah. The whole story came in full circle. And then at the end, it finishes off just like any MTV movie would have finished off. the cops show up. Hey, everybody wants to. Why does everybody want to talk to Fred, though? I guess it's just Fred's the guy we have to talk to. But then it just ends like, yeah, no, we're all good.
Now we have a dance party.
Yeah, see you in freaking second movie, because that's where it was really going to, where it's like, we'll see you in the next movie. Yep, yes, we will. Yes, we will. And then, we got the second movie. But we'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get to that one, because there's a lot to say about that one. So that's it. We're done talking about the movie. But before we continue on to our next and fun segments that we do, we have a quick little message for you.
Hey, horror newbies and Flickbook fans, Mista Malaves here, and we at Flickbook Horror love to determine which movies are meant for the non-average horror viewers. Well, now's your chance to get in on all the action, because Horror Pack is a monthly subscription that sends you horror movies that you get to keep. That's right, I said keep. Simply choose your monthly plan of either Blu-rays or DVDs, and every month you'll receive a pack with 4 movies, one specifically being a Horror Pack exclusive. And who knows, it may be just the movie sleeper we've been looking for that'll find its way to the Flickbook. So go ahead and click the link in this episode's description to sign up for Horror Pack, and tell them Mista Malaves sent you. Thanks for listening to the Flickbook Horror, and we'll see you at the movies.
All right, thank you, Mr. Malave, for that showing out a Horror Pack. Mr. Aton, I got my Horror Pack last month, and I got Get Out in it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I already own it, though, but so I have Get Out 2 times now.
Have you seen Nope yet?
Oh, no, nope. Nope, I haven't seen it yet. It's on my list, though. Yeah. Isn't it going on HBO Max soon or something? I think they're
probably soon, yeah.
So I want to catch it then.
I'm very interested in you watching it because of the big reference that the movie is. I don't think I told you it yet, but
no, you didn't tell me that. But I
alluded to it. I want to see if you see it, because you of all people, you should definitely see what the reference is.
I got it locked on to be one of the first things when I get a chance to jump on it, because there's a lot of horror movies actually out that I really want to see. The movie Barbarian that's just came out with Bill Skarsgård's supposed to be really good. Obviously, we got Halloween Ends coming out next month, which we will be at Spooky Empire doing our panel for Halloween Ends. So we ended up getting it.
Does it actually end, though?
It better, at least for the time being. This should be the end of the Laurie Michaels story.
I think that's what they mean when they say it. Like, she's done.
She's got to go. Yeah, this is Jamie Lee Curtis's last. Like, we can't keep going anymore. And please don't reboot it. Like, if you're gonna do it, just Michael's got to go away for a bit, and then we'll have maybe Jason will come back, or Freddy might come back. Who knows? Or I don't know, come up with new people. Maybe some new killers in our lives. But now it's time to get into our award show. Mr. Aton, you're going to be taking over Mr. Malaves, but you're not going to be doing Kill 'Em With Kindness. We're giving you your award, which is the best character. Mr. Aton, what did we call it? It was Mr. Aton's
best Dean's List.
Dean's List. So the Dean's List, and Mr. Aton's Dean's List, we'll start with you for who has made your Dean List when it comes to Scooby-Doo.
Well, I mean, we've been singing the praises of this person throughout this entire episode so far, and that has to go Matthew Lillard as Shaggy. Yeah, this man has set the standard. There have been other Shaggy actors since. No one has come close. No, to the point where people are like, why don't you just get Matthew Lillard? I'm like, I mean, he's almost 50. I don't know if it'll still work, but that man, I don't know what method he did. I would have loved to seen his audition.
Sure,
but they were like, no. And he could have been the main reason why they're like, yeah, we're doing this movie. Just for that alone. And they knew the center, because again, he's Shaggy. He's above all of them, other than obviously Scooby. He's that most iconic video game, TV show character, and video games, because they have him in like games now. I mean, the biggest, even in anime stuff, I know I'm just sort of, the him of him becoming a super powered warrior that could beat up Goku. I don't know if you've seen the memes of Shaggy at 1,000%. Oh, yeah. It's become a phenomenon of Shaggy. So for him to take that iconic role and just make it himself, where they're interchangeable, it is his most recognizable role. Scream was good, but come on now. His voice, his mannerisms, his even just the regular walking, he with the lanky movements where he would that's method. That's attention to detail.
Yeah.
That he made the outfit, everything. It was like cartoon was pulled right out.
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard is definitely on the Dean's list. Best Scooby is CGI, so the voice I think is the same.
It is the same.
Yeah, so Scooby is great, but Matthew Lillard, oh my God, with a second being Velma.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I have to agree 1,000%. I mean, Matthew Lillard killed it to the point where he made Shaggy more popular than Shaggy ever was, to the point that there is a huge petition that Shaggy, the character, needs to be put in Mortal Kombat, the game, where there's been hints where Boone keeps going maybe because it's a Warner Brothers thing.
Yeah,
the NetherRealms and whatnot.
Yeah.
So they keep hinting that maybe they could do it, but it's hard to put that character in that type of with blood and guts and all that shit.
Yeah.
But I mean. And you got to get Matthew Lillard to do the voice. If you get that far, if he for some reason touches Mortal Kombat, Matthew Lillard has to do the voice because he's going to curse.
Yes.
You got to throw the cursor there. But I'm glad that you mentioned Shaggy, and I'm glad that you mentioned Matthew Lillard, of course, for the 800th time that we talk about this guy. But I have one more question for you, Mr. A-Town. When it comes to Matthew Lillard, when it comes to Shaggy, what's his cocktail?
Shaggy's cocktail. Now, everyone knows, well, they probably don't know if you're listening to me for the first time. Mr. Alex A-Town Ryan does not drink, but there is one drink I do love. All right. It's from the Caribbean. It's a Carib drink called Shandy's.
Oh.
Shandy. So my cocktail for Shaggy is a Shaggy Shandy.
A Shaggy Shandy. Now, do you know what actually they put in a Shandy?
It's like a fruit drink. So there's different flavors. There's the ginger flavor.
Okay.
My favorite is the sorrel flavor. So a Shaggy Shandy is simply Shandy, of course, base with ginger ale and cola champagne.
Oh.
And mix that all together, and you have yourself a Shaggy Shandy.
I like that. That sounds pretty damn good, actually. I like that very much. Now, for me, I have Shaggy for my cocktail.
Yeah.
I gave Shaggy a grasshopper.
Oh.
Now, if you've seen The Big Bang Theory, that's how Raj is able to talk to women.
Yes.
That lime greenish kind of drink that he drinks because it glows green. But I've never actually had it before, but it's very rich. It's creamy. It's got a mint chocolate to it. Yeah. And when I look at it, I think it's I can have one of those and I can have a couple of one, two. But then when I find myself on my third or my fourth one, I start seeing Scooby-Doo. And I start to talk to Scooby-Doo, just like that, Scooby-Doo, you're like, what the heck is going on here? So I feel that there's no hints of weed in any of these drinks, by the way. No. But if you want, you can roll one on the side while drinking, because if you're going to do it, I guess do it right. So, I'm going to give Shaggy a grasshopper for his cocktail. All right, so then we're going to move on to my award. Now, usually I do just a little scared. We're switching it up a little bit because, Scooby-Doo. And we're going to do just a little funny. Something in this movie that kind of makes me laugh. And I actually mentioned it before because it always, there's a lot of scenes in this movie that actually really made me laugh. Yeah. But I always go back to that one scene that I remember from the first time I saw it in the theater to when I rented it to when I bought it, because I do own this movie. And it's the same thing. When he looks, Scooby-Doo, oh, don't you mean Melvin Doo? And the way he's just standing there in that stupid trance thing that they're doing. And it's every fucking time, because they started with a joke in the beginning of the movie when he says that whole thing, Melvin Doo? And then it's like Scoob. And that's why it's so stupid, because, and it fits the cartoon persona. He knows it's Scrappy. Yeah. He knows he wants him. He literally says his name, but just to cartoon it up, to sit there and be like, well, are you sure? Don't you mean Melvin? Don't you mean Melvin Doo? And always. It makes me laugh. It's too funny. I can rewind the scene. I've gone on YouTube just to find the scene, just to sit there and go, to mean Melvin Doo? And the way he just points at it and the camera just pans to Melvin and he's just standing there with just that, and it's like, yes, that is the perfect cartoonish joke in the movie. You know, like we mentioned their fight scene too. With, your mama eats cat poop. Like all that stuff. That's funny. Their little stupid farting contest and burping contest that we didn't really touch on it because it's a fart and burp joke.
Fart and burp joke.
But it was funny. Like it worked for him. It's Matthew Lillard against the CGI dog, and it's pretty funny. They burped at each other. He's like, "You challenging me?" It's funny. So this movie does have a lot of moments that actually they're pretty funny, and I really love Melvin Dew. The best. I wish he showed up in the sequel, but I think the sequel was actually a prequel to the to that movie, so we didn't get Melvin Dew. But he's my favorite character. I'd put him on my Dean's list. Melvin Dew, because he wanted just to be looked at. He just wanted a little love. And we didn't get no love to Melvin.
Melvin Dew.
Melvin, don't you mean Melvin Dew? It's still the best line. Now we've surpassed our awards, and now we get to the main award, the big one. The one that, when we look at that screen and we think to ourselves, but then we scream out loud, "Fuck yeah! Fuck you, movie!" A moment in time, Mr. A10, and you've done it many a time, where you have looked at him and, "Fuck this!" Another movie we'll get to in season 2. But we're on Scooby-Doo. So, Mr. A10, I got to ask you, what is your fuck you moment? What is your fuck you movie to Scooby-Doo?
You know what's funny? It's weird because I thought I had it cemented. I thought I knew where I was going with it.
Okay.
But then as time went on, I was like, okay, I could see why this... All right, my fuck you movie was going to be Scrappy-Doo.
Me too.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was my fuck. And I like that you said that because I'm on the same path where it's like, no, but I get it.
I get it. But seriously, fuck you movie.
Fuck you. And I say, and the reason I'm going to say Scrappy is because him being the villain, I feel is like, okay, I get it. I understand what you're doing. I get the joke, and it is hilarious what you're doing. But I just felt we could have had a bigger surprise. What if they never shown that? Yeah. That him getting kicked out, and it turned out it was Scrappy the whole time. Yeah. But then we wouldn't have that whole story for people that don't know.
Here's a fun fact. I don't know how true this is. Mm-hmm. But do you know who was supposed to be Rowan Atkinson's character?
No.
Who the original actor was? From what I'm hearing, it was supposed to be Tim Curry.
Oh.
Because he's a big Scooby-Doo fan.
Oh.
He stepped out. He decided not to do it because he found out that Scrappy-Doo was going to be the villain.
Oh, that's even more interesting.
I'm going to look, from what I saw, I think he was supposed to be Mr. Bean's character. He was supposed to be the guy because, of course, horror, Tim Curry, come on, they go hand in. And he is a big Scooby-Doo fan. I don't know if it's that he didn't like Scrappy, or he actually liked Scrappy and he didn't like the fact that he was a villain, but it was related to Scrappy why he backed out of the movie.
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah. I did not know that. And imagine if he was the villain of it, and you would sit there, the iconicness of Tim Curry.
Yeah.
To sit there and go through Clue, freaking Rocky Horror Picture, Pennywise in the It show. Or the It movie on TV, and Scooby-Doo, and he was also in Home Alone 2. And and you just checking off those lists of Tim Curry. That would be great.
Yeah, he's a big fan of the film.
Yeah, but I feel like, again, going back to the Scrappy situation, I understand why they were doing it. I love the joke. It fits. It makes sense why Scrappy's pissed and why he's like, he even says, "You tried to get rid of me, and I'm back now, and I'm gonna kill Scooby-Doo." Yeah, listen, totally get it. I just feel that maybe that would have been saved good for a part 2.
Yeah,
maybe you could have did,
or that could have been like a teaser at the end of this one.
Yes,
where you never knew who it was. Like they tried to find, they just kept it the robot. But you never knew
who was the robot.
And then, like, right at the end, you find out, all you hear is, like, something where it's like, they got me again. Like, that would have been cool.
I'll get you, Scooby-Doo. Like, one of those kind of things.
Scrappy. That would have been
And then you go, oh, my God, Scrappy's coming in the sequel. Seeing that shit. But they were probably also afraid people were going to be like, no, I don't want that. But then again, you got to sit there and be like, well, why not? Like,
why not? Because then you want to know what the hell.
Yeah, why is Scrappy coming in? And like, this movie was made for us that grew up to Scooby-Doo, but this is also made for younger kids too, saying, here, look at these characters. Because look, here's now Scooby-Doo with Kiss. Here's Scooby-Doo with the Scooby-Doo with Kiss was good too.
This revitalized Scooby-Doo. That and what's Scooby-Doo, obviously.
Yeah, it did.
But this started the second Scooby Renaissance.
That's right. It did. It pushed it back in front of our faces, and till this day, he's still making movies.
Yes.
Scooby-Doo's name is, and like I said, we mentioned before, they're looking to talk about possibly a rated R version of it. Don't do it. Yeah. Don't do it, James Gunn, because I know you're thinking about it. Don't fucking do it. Just do another one.
I want it. I want it.
I'll watch it, but it's not like I'm not going to watch it. If you do it, of course I'm going to watch it. But like that Winnie the Pooh one, I can't wait for that one. Oh, I can't wait for that one. Did you just watch the trailer?
I saw it. Yeah, I was like, what is that?
Oh, I was sitting there like, I don't know where this movie's going. I'm totally down to watch this shit. Because, like, what? Where's it? They went rabid? Those are humans.
Yes.
What? And they're going to totally kill. I know we're jumping off, but we'll come back. Yeah. They're totally going to kill Christopher Robin. That beginning scene with him and the girl, that's the beginning of the movie.
Duh.
Oh, he's totally going to kill Christopher Robin.
They probably torture him throughout the thing, though. But then, of course,
at the end, they'll probably oh, bother. Zoom. Like, oh, he chopped the girl's head off with it. Yeah. So imagine if they did Scooby-Doo.
Like that.
Like that. It would kill your childhood, but also maybe might be awesome. I don't know.
Scooby is rabid.
No, I wouldn't like that. Maybe you could. Oh, it's hard.
If you're going to go, you got to go all the way.
You got to, he's like, he starts normal and then he gets rabid or some shit. And then it's like Old Yeller where Shaggy's got to shoot him or something.
I'm sorry, Scoo.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Oh, that's so sad. We can't have that happen. And you know what that would make me? You know what? If that actually came on the screen, if that happened, you know what I would do? I would scream on the top of my lungs. Fuck yeah! Fuck that movie if they tried to pull that shit. How dare they think of that? You put it out there, and as you know, every time we put things out there, for some reason, they happen to show up. So, that's our fuck you movie moment. But again, we're not done yet. Mr. A-Town, you're going to be playing a game for a chance at $100 that you can't win because it's courtesy of the second rounds, and you, sir, are part of the second rounds. But
goddamn conflict of interest.
Yeah, it's kind of how this works. That's why Matt never wins either. But you do have an opportunity to get bragging rights when we play Money for Nothing. The price is wrong, bitch.
The price is wrong, bitch. The price is wrong, bitch.
All right, now we're going to get into this game going on. But before we get into the game, let's put that Money for Nothing by Dire Straits in the background because that's our game show music. All right, Mr. A-Town, I'm going to ask for you for a ranking. So what I'm going to do is this is going to be for the all-time domestic box office for Scooby-Doo, not for any other movie, just strictly Scooby-Doo.
Okay.
You need to tell me the rank for the all-time domestic box office for kids fiction movies. So what is Scooby-Doo ranked on that list?
All-time
domestic kids fiction movies. I'll give you a little bit of time to think about it.
What's the year from? Is there a year range? All time. Okay.
All time.
Damn.
All-time domestic box office for kids fiction.
276 million. That's a lot of money. And it's all right. Disney counts, right? Disney, all those.
All fiction. All kids fiction.
Oh, then I'm going to say.
Oh, all right. Hold on. You got an answer? Let's hear it.
I'm going to say 8.
8.
Yeah.
All right. So you're going with the all-time box office for kids fiction movies. Scooby-Doo, this live action is ranked 8th. You could get another chance.
All right.
I'll give you one because you didn't lock it in.
I'm really thinking about this because
keep thinking. We let it think. Just tell us what you're thinking.
I'm thinking of movies that are just that kids just. It's a lot of stupid movies kids love that just made a lot of money.
Yeah, keep in mind it's not just live action. Remember that because I never mentioned that. It's all.
Okay, I'm gonna say 18.
18. Okay, locking it in.
Locking it in. 18.
All right, locking it in. So Mr. A-Town says 18 for the all-time domestic box office for kids fiction movies. And no, sir, sadly, you are incorrect. The rank actually is 74. 74.
Yeah, I was giving it way too much credit.
But you know what I'll do for you is I'll tell you what was number 18.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Monsters, Inc. is number 18.
That's why I asked about the Disney.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's the top 10 has got to be all Disney.
No.
Oh, really? Oh.
No,
How many of
pretty
them are
much.
there?
9.
Okay.
9 are Disney and 1 is not. 1 is
Okay.
DreamWorks, which you could probably guess that one.
Oh, Shrek?
Shrek 2, funny enough.
Shrek 2.
Shrek 2, funny enough. But yes, Shrek is up there. Number
Yeah.
1 is The Incredibles 2.
Bullshit.
Incredibles 2 is number 1. Incredibles 2, domestic box office made $608 million.
Really?
Right below it is the live action Lion King at $543
You know what?
million.
It's the era.
Errors play factors.
Okay, because the live action.
Yeah,
not even
errors
near.
will play
Where's the
factors.
original? Got to be top 10.
The original Lion King?
Yeah.
Number 7.
All right.
Number 7, right behind Toy Story 4.
It's the era, and that's not fair because
The errors, and then we get our information from the-numbers.com, which they stay on top of it when it comes to the rankings because every day it changes.
Yeah.
And but this a lot of Disney, and that is indeed number 74 for Scooby-Doo. So, Mr. Eitan, you gave it a shot.
Yeah.
You took a good chance. You had one answer. You switched it, added 10 to it. But it turns out
it's way off.
Still way off, which means the price was wrong, bitch. Thank you for playing, Mr. A-Town. You'll come back on again, of course, and play some more. It's all about bragging rights in the long run. And I'd love to obviously see you pick yourself a good horror movie as well, which there's plenty out there. Horror is all over the place. Thriller, suspense, all that. That all counts. We're doing Scooby-Doo. But again, thank you so much for playing. Close enough, but not enough, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Drew Carey's going to take us out right now. Drew? Thank you, Drew. All right, so that's it. We're done, but not yet. We have one more thing we got to do, and that's it. Mr. A-Town, then we are done for season 1. We have to determine, does this movie get in? Does this movie get into the Flickbook? So now it has to be unanimous. It's only me and you here, so we both have to agree. The question is, does Scooby-Doo, should it be viewed by a non-average horror movie viewer or a newbie at least once in their lives? What do you think?
All right. Here's what. Newbie. When you say newbie for movies?
Newbie for like horror movies.
And
so
that's
like
where
anything. It could be.
That's where you got me, man.
Okay.
Because if it was not horror, I would say yes. But if you the horror aspect is important.
Of course, it does play a factor.
Yeah, this is not a horror movie. It's a comedy. It's a kids comedy.
What about for children?
For children. Yeah, average horror movie is coming into one. They're coming in expecting the works, the real stuff, whether it's good or bad.
Sure.
And sorry, Scooby. No.
Giving it a no.
I'm giving it a no.
Giving it a no.
I know what, if I'm introducing someone to horror, I'm not giving them Scooby-Doo.
No.
I'm not. Even again, just to watch at least once, no. Guess what? There's other genres. If you want to watch another genre, I'll gladly recommend it for that.
Sure.
The fact that it is a Flickbook horror, not Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo. So Scooby-Doo is not getting in at all. Regardless, there will be no agreement, or we're both agreeing that it's no.
Would you have put it in?
Yeah. I'd have did it. I would have said more of just like, because it's the kiddie horror version of it. If it's like a newbie,
I think there's better kiddie horror though.
You might be right. Actually, you know what there is?
One of the Ernest films, man.
What?
Ernest
Scared Stupid. We got to do that one. I love that movie.
Now.
Or Monster House. That's another good one. The animated ones.
There's better kids horror. Oh my God, Monster House. Yeah, there's better kids horror.
There is plenty of great horror movies for kids.
Yes.
Beetlejuice.
And fits that criteria of horror.
Yeah.
Where I could say, yeah, you need to watch it, have a kid. Scooby-Doo's not it.
No, it's a fun movie, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing we will say is, even if you guys, you may not agree, or if you actually want to watch it, if you, for some reason,
freaking Hocus Pocus, man.
Hocus Pocus, the new one, I think comes out next week.
Yes, it does.
I'm scared about that one.
You should be. You should be.
I'm petrified with that one. But hey, listen, if you've listened to this episode and you've never seen Scooby-Doo, the first live action one, and you want to check it out, by all means. We're just telling you, if a newbie or a non-average person that's new to the horror genre should check it out. Mr. A-Town says no.
No.
And I say, why not? Fuck it. It's Scooby-Doo. We love Scooby. But it doesn't get in. It doesn't matter. But I will say, Mr. A-Town does have a very good point. There are plenty of other kid horror movies that are pretty damn good. And he mentioned one that is pretty fucking good. Like the first one, that Ernest Scared Stupid. Oh, I used to grow up to that and
still
scared the
thinking
shit
of
out
the
of me.
giant trolls in my head.
He scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Yes.
And how did you kill him? Milk.
Milk.
Milk was the way to kill
milk
him.
and water guns.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I remember them in the supermarket. Oh, yeah.
That movie scared the shit out of me when I was a little kid, but it's a very good movie. Oh, we're putting that on the list. That might come out for season 2, but also don't forget Christmas is going to be coming up, so we're going to have some maybe some Christmas movies. Jack Frost, Michael Keaton. Mm-hmm. Throw that in there. That's a horror movie in the long run. He died and came back to life. We'll talk about that one.
That's the criteria. Death.
I think I'm going to do it as just a joke, though. I think I'm going to do it. I may do double feature, Jack Frost and the horror movie Jack Frost.
Jack Frost, yes.
Which is when Shannon Elizabeth gets raped by a carrot. Yep, that happened in a movie.
Yep.
That happens in a movie. Well, that's it, Scooby-Doo. You're not getting into the Flickbook, but now it is time to say goodbye. It's time to say sayonara. Thank you, Mr. A-Town, for joining us. I know you're not the biggest horror kind of guy, so I brought you into something a little easier. Sadly, the next one you have to do, you're not going to be happy about. But we'll get you on for some other ones, too. We'll make sure that it's not too much for you, where you're like, I'm not fucking touching this. Yeah. You're not getting Conjuring.
No, but like Ernest Scared Stupid, I will be here for that.
Yeah, I fucking love that movie. Oh, we're gonna put season 2. I guarantee we will. Ernest Scared Stupid's getting on that list because I really do love that film. So, say your goodbyes, sir.
Yes. I'm in the horror realm, but I'm really not because you gave me a softball. You lobbed it up like a kid at t-ball. Just gave me and I knocked it out the park, of course. But yes, this was fun. I know the next movie you're gonna bring me back for. It won't be as fun.
No. Well, it could be fun just to shit on stuff.
That's pretty much. I'm hurt about that one. That's why I thank God for Scooby-Doo was able to help me out because. But I can't wait. No, I can wait. No, I can't wait because I need to get that out my system soon. Yeah. So the moment it's up and we're ready to go with it, let me know and I'll.
Yep.
You're going to get my anger.
Yeah, what I'll do for you is I'll let you know all the movies that we're doing for the seasons. You just pick which ones you want to come through on. Because regardless, when you come on, we still play Money for Nothing. Yeah. Somebody has to challenge the guest.
Yes.
So you and Mista Malaves can challenge the guest. It'd be pretty cool to have like a 3-way to do it to see who can win and it's closest to, close to the number wins. Only 3 people have won.
Good for them.
Only 3. I was one of the 3 too. So Matt is never close. Like,
and clearly me neither.
Listen to the faculty. No, listen to the faculty episode. And I'll bring it up because again, this is the final episode of season 1. So a little memory refresh because this is the greatest moment ever. How much did the faculty make? Now the faculty came out in December of 1998.
Oh, I did hear that one. Yeah.
When $96 million in a weekend. Which was like in April. I was like, for the weekend? Like, what is the matter with for the faculty? So the faculty it made $40 million in total. You got a 96 for a week. This is not Avengers. It came out in 98, 99.
In the 90s, yeah.
It's like that shit's not making $96 million. They're lucky it even touched 40 in total. Which was hilarious. But thank you, Mr. A-Town Ryan, and thank you, Mista Malaves, for, of course, this is the end of season 1. Thank you to all of our guests that came on. Marvelous Marvin, which I still think is a hilarious name. Oh yes, Mr. A-Town, I see you. No problem. Caitlin, thank you for coming on. Thank you for doing the panel with me as well. For Paranormal Activity. And of course, Sabrina Ace in the Hole, she came on and she's been killing it this entire time. And actually the movie that Mr. A-Town was talking about is the movie that Sabrina picked. And we'll talk about that in season 2. We will discuss that one. And of course, shout out to everybody in the second rounds. Thank you guys so much. We are finishing season 1 right now. You know what? I have a hurricane coming and I got a wedding to go to this upcoming weekend. So I got to get on a plane, guys. See you guys later. Peace. Thank you so much for listening. Later.
She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes.